What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Universim. So, moving on from where we left off last time, and the clone centre is very close to being complete. And when it is, we'll try it out, and I'll show you a couple of the things you can do in there. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's an option, and it's for nuggets, right? So it's a good thing. Just going to chuck down yet another giant bridge to bridge these oceans. Over the time that we're playing this, you'll find that they'll come in handy. It's impossible to know where the people want to walk or even drive. But if there's no roads, they won't drive, they'll walk. So it's best to try and put down highways wherever you can, and then bridges linking them together. You will see as you put the bridge down, it will connect up to roads and then upgrade them roads into actual, or paths into roads. So it's worth it. Let's take a look at this tower. It's just finished. Good timing. It was like it was planned. I mean, it was, but anyway. So yeah, very tall building. How that's staying up there, I don't know. But yeah, looking at this, it needs 3 people working in there. The 4th is locked. You can see you've got 5 pluses, and that is you can order 5 nuggets to be created. And then on the left, on the right hand side, it says tune and clone to produce, and that just processes as you go. So you can create a lady or a man. You have the option, and I didn't know at the time, which is why I'm just clicking around like an idiot. It does tell you at the top though. So basics is male, female, or and then the colour. I'm going to call my first nugget 𝐂𝐲 clone, just because. Why not? And as I said, I'm making them blue. They're going to be like avatars. Or do I make them? No, I definitely make them blue. I'll definitely make them blue. Yeah, there you go. At the bottom, you've got the normal skin tones, and then you've got your just colour palette to do what you want. So then there's clothing and hairstyles. You can change the colour down at the bottom there as well. Hats, if you want a hat. That is, I think it's like an old Victorian nun's hat, and then you've obviously just got a nice fancy hat. But I'd like to go without hats, personally, I think. In fact, I know I do. There are a couple that don't show the hats on the icons, but they are actually hats, like that one there, for example. And that's it. So you've got the basics, the hair, the clothing, the accessories, the facial hair, and then that was about it. I think we're going to do it again anyway. So we're going to do the male, and we're going to call them 𝐂𝐲 clone as well. I didn't realise it was a name. I thought I was like saving them, to be honest, but next time I'll just actually give them separate names, like, I don't know, clone 1, 2, 3, etc. So a man with a mohawk, he's got a little cow outfit on, a little beard, and we're going to change the colour of his hair. As you can see, you can do it there from that palette, so I'll give him green hair, because why not? And no hat, because I've gave him a fancy mohawk, so I don't want to cover the hat. Although I did like that beret looking thing. And then I went for an eye patch, but I'm not sure if it is an eye patch or if it's just glasses that have fell off his face. It looks like glasses hanging off his face. But then I changed my mind and went for the gaming microphone. So you put them in, and they'll now be produced using chemicals, and then when they're ready you can eject them from there. Still waiting for the pyramid to finish, but it is on about 90-odd%. It's very close. 97% in fact, and just like that 100%. So there it is. It's not that fancy, it don't do anything special as far as I'm aware anyway, though at night time it lights up quite nice. It's got lights on each corner and at the top as well, so it lights up quite nice. But it is a legendary building that allows people to come in, and as far as I'm aware it increases the mood. So there we go, that's the first legendary building of the series, and actually it's the first legendary building that I have done. Now when the episode started, you saw I got the business research complete, and that means that we can upgrade all of the shops, which are the Lizard Candy, the Monsieur, and then a few others. I can't remember what they're called exactly, but you're allowed to upgrade all of those, so I'll get through clicking on that. I would like to have an upgrade all button, and I think there is one. I just haven't quite reminded myself where it is. You can from the bottom right hand corner where you've got the buildings option. I think you can do it from there, but I will need to check that because I'm only thinking about that as I'm talking to you now, and I'm not actually in game to check it. So if you are, please have a look, and you can always comment and let me know before I check it myself. On the radar, you can see there is a locust swarm coming in as a I don't know what you want to call it. I suppose an event, but it's not really an event, right? We'll just use, as I showed you last time, just use the fire spell and puff, they disappear. So, looking at the, and again, you can see there's a lot of buildings to upgrade. All of these batteries need upgrading. There's a lot of work to do, but our population is kind of rocketing now. We are at 573, and it's only going up. The life expectancy has been increased so much, we're getting some good amount of breeding, or whatever you want to call it, but it's happening regular, so that means we've got lots of babies. A lot of solar panels down there as well. I think I put 4 down, it might have been 5 though. We have unlocked the unobtainium research as part of that process that we did, so as you can see I can tell it to start building the building there. You can build it from the menu, the normal building menu. You can see it's flashing there with the yellow dots, so there's a new building. But actually I just did that by accident and it worked, so you just click on it and it allows you to build the building. That is the upgraded batteries, which look very snazzy, very nice indeed. You can see the water towers or reservoirs are actually just like the modern day water towers, and there's loads of the windmills about, again, as you can see. Remember, all of our power is coming from windmills and solar panels now, but I didn't know whether there was a lake there. There wasn't, so I just watered the desert for the sake of it. Doesn't matter. Creator points aren't too difficult to come by with how I'm going, as long as you keep them happy and you don't murder everyone. It's not too bad. The skyline's looking nice though, and the farms there, the pink buildings down there with the glass roofs, they look really cool, the farms. Another one of the unobtainiums here, which means I'm just going to build immediately on it. It turns out you get 5 unobtainium from each of their monoliths, and then that's it. So it's however many is on your planet times 5, and each you use 1 per drone per robot. Is the rough math on that. You need other resources as well for the robots, but you need 1. So for every monolith you take down, that should be 5 robots, or drones as they're called in the game. Just admiring a bit of the art here of the vehicles on the road and stuff, looking really nice. And then the solar panels are there doing nothing because it is of course night time, and it looks like I did actually do 4. So let's move forward and see if this is something a bit more exciting we can pay attention to. So just jumping into the banners that I mentioned previously as well, I just wanted to show a few of them because I do really think they've put a lot of effort and the souls into these games. It doesn't take much to do these, it's an image, right, but it's really impressive how they've done it and what they've done. So just want to kind of shout out for the creators of this game, because it is really well made and I'm really happy with it. Gives you a sense of achievement when you upgrade the things and you get these funny little quirky banners popping up. And I'm not sure how many there is in total. That one, depending on your age, will either sound funny or rude. But anyway. And then of course there's some play on words like be prepared to get caught short with some toilet paper there. And there was one earlier that you saw that was actually a copy of the Windows blue screen of death, as it was called, crashing, but they just changed it to Windows instead of Windows. But yeah, just thought I'd appreciate a bit of the art that they've done there. And remember, the creator is always watching, but are you though? Bet you're not watching my videos. Right, so back into the research now, and we're going to look at what we're going to basically look up and do next. So you can see you've got builder bots there. So you've got the Nuggetoid factory for making the robots, the builders to make the builder bots, and then the gaseous, which is giving us what they're called, hot air balloons. And then you can upgrade the 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐍 and the cinemas. The robots are quite good actually. They're basically nuggets, but they're faster, stronger. I can't remember how that song goes, but anyway, they're that, and they don't require food or water, and I'm assuming they live a lot longer. They certainly have a lot more health. The builder bots are used to build buildings and take down buildings, and that is something that you do for the space. So you can actually pack up a building and send it to the moon, and then the builder bot rebuilds it again. I'm still learning myself around that area, but that's what I've made out from reading the scope and the buildings that I've done. We do obviously have the ability to move to the moon. I don't know like what sort of buildings you need to start at the moon. The ones I know you need, it tells you to take more like water pumps, but I don't understand because this shouldn't be water on the moon. But we'll see, won't we? Because we're going there. So again, I am just looking around, and what I'm looking for at the minute is upgrades, just to make sure that there's no buildings that require upgrading that I've missed. Because unless you get the little icon above, there's no real way to know what is or isn't. And just as some clarity on the locust swarm, there is the locust swarm, that grey little bush, and I used the fire spout, and the grey little bush has gone, and that's the end of the event. No more locusts. So yeah, it's that easy. So here I am actually building the helipad for building the helicopters, and the tank building for building the tanks. Just as a precursor for the remainder of this episode, if you notice the days flicker ever so slightly, I did have a couple of crashes in this sort of area when it started getting really busy. I'm not sure why or what they were. I didn't understand the crash logs to know. Luckily the autosave saved it mostly, but there is a few bits that I had to do again, so you might notice slight changes in the building placement. All of the same buildings were placed, just might be slightly different places, because I don't remember. Normally I just kind of click around and make do, so that'll be why, because of the crashes that took me back a few minutes or so, and then I've just had to replace the buildings. Okay, so here's a good example of a fully dried up water source. I believe this is the one we started with, actually. This is the right at the beginning of the game, our first water source. So it doesn't take much to fill it up, but one thing I would like to see in the future maybe, or if even mods are available, if at all possible. But anyway, it's some sort of, you know, when the rain comes in elsewhere, that you can have some sort of drainage that you can put into these areas so that you can collect that water. Even if the rain clouds don't go above this water source, it should eventually get there, right? All of the rain that rains everywhere else just gets deleted, and I feel like it would be nice if we could have like a drainage outlet that you can put there on the road, and it just puts in here, just to help you less micromanage these smaller areas. Of course, the only other alternative, which is what I actually start to do, and you can see I've done one there, is don't actually take water out of these tiny little areas and take them out the seas and oceans instead. Of course, that's dependent on how big the map you play in. This isn't the biggest, but it's certainly a lot bigger than the original and the smaller ones, so I get a lot more water than you probably will do on your smaller maps. Just saw there's a fire and then noticed that the firemen were already on their way there. This is a perfect example, actually. You can see they're going into the water to collect it, which is a really nice little part of this game. They really did put a lot of effort into it. If there was a road, obviously they'd be using fire engines, but there isn't, which is why they're walking. When they hit the road, they'll turn into fire engines and get that movement speed to get over there. And then you can see another fire engine coming in from the other side. But very quickly they put the fire out and do their job, which is good. I didn't have to use any points to do it. I think rain's 40, right? So saved me a nice amount. But it's just nice to see the little mechanics. Obviously all of that sort of stuff is happening all the time, and you just don't notice it because there's so much happening all the time. So it was nice just focusing on that, I thought. And there we go, 2 of the new barracks are built, the helipad there to the left, and the tank factory is being completed on the right. I haven't built the 4th one, which is technically the 2nd one, which is where you use the research for nitroglycerin. That one gives you the big boomers, or the bombers as they call it, the grenaders. I will do that at some point. Basically I want one of each, so you get one of the normal military, one of the helicopters, one of the tanks, and one of the bombers, so you've got a mix. We don't actually need them, right? There is nobody to fight, so it's unfortunate. I have checked and I don't believe there's any new exiles come in, and I'm not aware that I can put any in just to give us something to blow up. So unfortunately it's just going to have to be on the basis that they defend us from UFOs, because so far that's the only thing I'm aware they actually fight off. Right, so just put down some of the hot air balloon buildings and just come over to the clone center, and you can see the 2 clones we designed, or I designed anyway, already. So you click the green tick and that should spawn them. Zooming back down there, you can see there they are, bright blue as they stand. whether you want to call it, I mean, I know people probably say they look more like Smurfs than avatars, and you're probably right, but never mind. I went to use Cupid on them, but realised I didn't have enough creator points, so couldn't do that. You can see there it actually holds 100 chemicals in terms of the resource for the building. I don't honestly know how much it required to make them. I think they're around the 20 to 25 mark, but I honestly can't remember. This is where you can put in all the various different good habits, bad habits, effects, etc. that you can do. And you can do that at the very start of the game if you remember. You get to pick that for your whole entire group of people, but I didn't actually do that because I wanted to save the chemical. Because as you can see down at the bottom, resource wise, the chemicals have plummeted quite a lot. We've only got 200 left out of the 500 that we had, so I do need to make sure that we don't run out. The steel also is going to get very, very excitable very, very soon, and the worst resource I'm struggling with at the minute, as you can see, is actually planks of wood, believe it or not. So we've got lots of wood, i.e. 3,500 wood, but we haven't got planks, so we need some sawmills. Over here, though, I'm just going to chuck in some buildings that I require, like the steel mill, plastic factory, just an extra one of each one of the buildings just to keep them resources coming in, and also a fuel factory because that is one of the low ones as well. You can see there, the bottom, the very far right hand number is 103, and that is our fuel, and we use that for, well, most things actually now. So I'm just making sure that the resources are done, and by doing this I can shut down all the buildings I know I'll need, shut down an engineer and maybe a fire station, and we're laughing. And then as you can see, holding control allows you to just place these willy-nilly, which is what I'm doing. I'm looking for good spots where they get the most amount of resource. That's looking like 4,500 to 5,000. I've put 2 there because there's so much. I want to rip it out of the ground quicker. But I think you could just put 1 there and it will just last longer. I can actually see a polluted lake there, and that is something that does come apparent very quick. A lot of the water sources are becoming polluted. It's happening quite regular on all of them. I don't know what that is, if it's a mechanic of the game just because I'm using the buildings that are burning fuels and oils and as such, or if it's something that I've done wrong and I haven't realised it yet. There we got a piece of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and then what looks like 6 red people. Don't know why they're red. I'm not sure if it means anything or not, but anyway. And then an Eye of the World there, another token. So we're coming along with them. I think I do unlock one, actually. I haven't built it yet, though, but I'm pretty sure I remember unlocking one. So just remember, to get rid of the pollution, all you need to do is rain. So that's 50% polluted. Make it rain, and it will get rid of it. Of course, I don't have any creator points to make it rain to get rid of that. So what I'll do instead is grind somebody up. I know it's harsh, right, but it's the mechanic of the game, and if they didn't want me to do it, they wouldn't let me do it. And there he goes. He goes splat. And what I actually realised was, because we're such a good person, it only gave us 20 points, which wasn't enough. So actually, I grinded that person up for nothing. But we'll move on. Okay, so I heard a UFO coming in, and I'm going over to shoot it, and I don't know what happens, but you'll watch it with me. I don't need to, because boom, something shoots it out the sky. I'm pretty sure it's not the hot air balloon. So whether it was the police tower that was right below it, you can see that there, or whether it was the military helicopter, I don't know. But yeah, we're auto-defended from them now. It did kill, I think, 2 duplicates landing on them. And again, it's not duplicates, it's nuggets. It did kill 2 nuggets landing on them. And then obviously them nuggets are there already repairing the buildings around there. So just wanted you to see that. But you've got self-defenses now. SAM as it's called, which is a resource point, but I'm just not sure what building fires it. Okay, so I think this is probably one of the biggest buildings I've seen so far in the game, and that is the airport. We've just unlocked that, so I need to find somewhere for it to go. Now, it's big. Also, I don't know sort of what the premise is for it, whether people use it to get around the globe faster, or if it's just for aesthetics, or if it's just for a mood boost. I did read the stats, but it doesn't really say, unless I'm an idiot and don't understand simple words. One thing about there, where I've placed it, it fits nicely, but them trees are going to take a long time to clear. And until all them trees are cleared, nothing will happen. And then right next door, I'm going to chuck down the Nuggetoid factory, which is the factory that prints the robot nuggets, which don't look anything like them. They look more like Rubik's cubes, to be perfectly honest. But yeah. Then you can see in the top, we've got the research of pneumatic tubes, which I believe is the hyper tube transfers. It is. There you go. The hyper. I think it says hyper. Does that say hyperlube or hyper tube? I'm not sure. I don't put it down yet because I don't actually know how to do it. I do find out, but it's a little bit too late, and then I decide to put one around the whole planet. Don't know why, but you know, you don't know until you try these things, right? And this is a perfect example of why you don't chuck things down willy-nilly like I do, and that is that they all fall down. Because remember that they need a builder's hut nearby, or an engineer's hut, to stop them from falling down. So always do the engineer's hut first, and then put your resource buildings around them. But as we are over the 20-minute mark, I'm going to end the episode here. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like, subscribe to keep up to date. Again, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.